In case you don't know me, my name is Hannah, and I run these classes for MS Foundation. So today we have something, honestly, you can use any of the supplies you have available to you for this particular project. I believe I titled this one Spirit Animal, but honestly, I had owls on my mind. I had autumn on my mind, Halloween, mostly on my mind, I should say. So that's why I decided to do a little kitty cat here. And then of course the owl right here. So it's honestly very simple. I'm going to go over a very simple way to draw most animals close up in a very cartoony way. I should specify that. So if you have a specific animal in mind, like Susie is going to do a wolf, but if you have something in mind, I will do my best to show you how to draw that particular one. As far as oh yes, a horse. Oh, that one's fun. Cool. Yes. Okay, we'll do it. Okay. So our supplies, you're going to need paper, of course. I always recommend, no matter what we're doing, I always recommend to use harder, thicker paper. But any kind of paper you have is perfectly fine with this one. I use marker and crayon on this little guy. And I also used, just crayon on this little guy right here. So let me see. Sorry, my cat is about to drop something off the shelf. I will be right back. Hold on. She's a kitten. She's 6 months old. Hold on. Here's our little troublemaker. I'm just going to set her outside. Yeah. All right, sorry guys. Okay, so let's get going. If you would like to, you're more than welcome to use a pencil to draw everything out first. And when I say everything, really the only thing I'm talking about is the face, the ears, or perhaps the little feathers on the top of the owl's head, the eyes, the nose or beak in this case, and the mouth. Honestly, all of these right here, all of these little marks that you see, what's it, the scribbles? I highly recommend you save those for the crayons or the markers, whatever you have. So really just drawing everything out with the basics if you want to. So let me go ahead and get my piece of paper. All right, so I'm going to, before I get to the extras like the wolf and the horse, I'm going to show everybody how to begin drawing the animals you see here. So I'll start with the owl, then I will do the kitty cat, and then we'll go from there. I highly recommend thinking big, okay? This little animal is staring you straight in the face, all right? So think big. I'm thinking, we need to show little owl first. Here we go. I'm thinking that I'm going to start off with the head, and I would like to say round shape, but really it's more like an oval shape. I highly recommend drawing things out with your finger and even going over the edge first. It just sort of gives you an idea of where to go. So I'm gonna draw it out. It's just a very simple oval shape. Quite a large head. Definitely going over the page. And I do this all the time. So I always love to trace out even where the ears are going to be going. So I say ears, they're feathers. They're the feathers of the owl. Now I'm drawing quickly, but please take your time. See, I even have to erase a little bit just to get this off, just to fix it a little bit. I do recommend after you draw it all out, I do recommend, for one, erasing some of your lines, like perhaps these can be erased, but also going in and lightening everything up. I mean, you don't have to do that now, but mostly I'm doing this right now to remind myself because I will probably forget. So just erase it, just to make it a little bit lighter so it doesn't quite show up as much. So I've got that. And now we need some eyes. So let's get some eyes. For owls, and honestly, probably for cats too, draw some big, giant eyes. So I think I want them to be right here, and then perhaps I'll put the nose, the beak, right in between. Big old peepers. Just like that. Now, no need to erase just to make everything perfectly straight. We mostly just want them to be the same size, the same general size. So all I'm gonna do is fix this just a little bit to make it a little bigger, and that's it. To be honest, I think I want my eyes to be a little bit bigger. I think I'm actually gonna, this is just for me, okay? I want you guys, if you're happy with your eyes, then keep it. I highly recommend you guys to be creative with it. Now, some people don't even know what I mean when I say be creative, honestly. And sometimes I don't even know what I mean. I'm just going with the flow, doing whatever my hand does at the time. And then just teeter-tottering off of what comes out of that. There we go, bigger eyes. To me, that's creativity, teeter-tottering off of what my hand is able to do. There we go.
Is there a reason why you left off one ear?
You can't really see it on this side because his head goes over the page, so that's why. So you can't really see it very well. And then his little beak, not so little beak. Now the beak, when you look at it head on, it's more of a diamond shape or a rhombus shape. Rhomboid, is that right?
The beak? Yeah.
Yes.
We learned a new word.
We did. We
sound
did.
smart. We don't really know what a rhomboid is, but
that's what it is, according to somebody. So that's what it looks like straight on. We also want to make a little what is this shape? That now we need another word. What is this shape right here? Little arrow, a little arrow going down like so. Guys, I'm telling you, the cog fog today is just insane. I'm only awake right now because I'm drinking Thai tea, lots of caffeine. And ta-da.
The cog fog is real and we all get it, Hannah.
Yes. Thank you.
And nobody understands it but us.
Yeah, right. My gosh. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Yeah. So for anybody working on the owl, or doing your own thing, whatever you're doing, once you're finished with that, go ahead and just lighten up your lines. So go around and just erase it a little bit. Don't fully erase it. Just want to lighten it all up. And I like to do that because I really don't like my lines to show all the way. I mean, sometimes I do, depending on the project, but not quite for this project. So just kind of do that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you guys how to do the kitty cat. I should have mentioned this earlier, but the kitty cat is done.
Can you keep the owl in view?
Sure, yeah. Just tear it out. Is that okay, Karen? Can you see that? Or did you mean the
that
colorful
owl.
one?
I
Do you
just
want the
meant
colorful
real-
one?
I meant your owl.
Oh yeah, sure. Get this guy out. There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, so my kitty cat people, I'm going to start out a very similar way. I'm going to create that more ovally shape. You can see that this face is more round than anything, but still, kitty cats come in all different shapes and sizes. So whatever face works. And then I also followed suit the same way with the ears. The ears come up this way. The biggest difference between the kitty cat and the owl here is that these owl's ears they're flattened at the top. Kitty cat ears are not so flattened. See, they really point up. And honestly, the biggest difference is really just the face. That's all. So I'm going to start off my kitty cat. I think just a little note for myself. I think I want to work on the eyes for this one. Start the same way. I'm going to stretch it out down. I always do this, always measure out with my finger. I am making this one a little bit less oval just because it's more kitty cat. Just because it makes more sense to me that way. Now, does anyone else have any other questions so far? It's a lot of drawing in this class. I know we don't normally do too much drawing.
I always get nervous when you do drawing and I think I can't do that. And then I do. And I'm so proud.
It is a great feeling. It really is. I get it. Okay, so now my ears. I always like to do this as well. When I'm trying to figure out exactly where my ears are supposed to go, I like to take a look at the face as a whole. So if that means like sitting up a little bit and looking back, then by all means do that. But look at it as a whole and point my fingers in the same direction that my ears are going to point. So that ear is going to go that way. That ear is going to go that way. Maybe it'll point up a little bit. I don't know. And there we have it. Little kitty cat ears. My favorite part for this kitty cat is going to be its eyes. I want big eyes. I'm trying to think how I'm going to draw these eyes. Now you could draw circles for the eyes if you want to. But if your kitty cat is anything like mine, its eyes are just perpetually, they always look mad. And she's not mad, she's just staring straight forward. I have a black kitty cat named Cora. And she's my baby. She's my emotional support animal. And she always just looks like she's mad. She's not. Oops. And there's her nose. Now the ears, or not ears, the mouth, I always get a little bit, like it's always a little bit tricky for the mouth for me. I could make them big little kitty lips, or I can make them smaller. Really is just your preference. Now I feel like anyone drawing the wolf can do it very similarly to these two methods. You'd start out with the same way with the face, except you'd add on some little hairs off to the side here. So I'll just draw it. You'd start off the same way, but with a wolf, your ears are going to be bigger. So I'm going to draw smaller on this page just so you can see. But we're going for more of a cartoony style, so it works out that way. Bigger ears. No, I'm just going off of memory, so if I'm incorrect, please tell me. I say bigger nose, but not that big. I did make pointier eyes. Coming out to the side here. And I'm drawing hairs on the side. Shaggier hairs, like that. Erasing this line here. There we go. I'm going to have to look up those ears though, because that's making it look a little more cartoony. Let's try this. So they're not triangular as this. They're more pointed. I think that's a better way to describe them. They're more pointed. They're a little bit thinner. Face is also a little bit thicker. So this hair comes down like that. Like that. Very cartoony. That's what we want. Okay. So we have a horse. Now I'm going to look up a picture of a horse really quickly. A little trick, or I guess a tip for you guys. If you are ever trying to learn how to draw something, like a horse, for example, you can always type in horse clip art or your thing clip art, and it'll give you much more simple versions of what you're going for instead of actually having to look at a picture of a real actual horse and trying to identify the anatomy, like where do you put your lines, trying to figure out all that. If you look up clip art specifically, it'll break it down for you into simpler versions of it. You can find the version of it that you want to draw. So just a little tip. And that is exactly what I'm doing right now. Now, horses, I used to spend hours drawing horses. I think that the fun part about horses is that they have such amazing cheeks, like cheeks and jawbones. So for them, we're going to get the best angle if we draw them looking off to the side. So let me see, I'm trying to remember, how did I draw them when I was younger? If you think about a horse, they have like a huge cheek area, and they also have their snout. And I like to think of those areas as the circles. And this probably isn't going to make too much sense until I draw it. But you have your circle here, that's the cheek. You have a smaller circle, this is its snout, right here. Below it, it's connected with a just a slight curved line like that. And then from here, you have a line that extends upward like so. Now it goes off up here. It's not going to quite touch this cheek circle here. And then from there, it's a little questionable up here because I don't quite remember. And then you have a line that goes here. Mind you, I'm trying to explain it, something that's advanced on the fly. So forgive me if it doesn't make sense. But you also have the ears that connect up here. And they have nice little pointy ears here. They also have a hair, like a tuft of hair coming outward here. I can erase this line. And I can also erase this line here. But I want to keep a little bit of that cheek line because it helps it to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to keep this down here. I'm going to erase this part here. Got little horsey nose represented by a teardrop shape. That's your horsey nose. And then your horsey eyes. Like that. And then of course you have the little neck coming down here with more hair flowing down. And I'm going to erase this line back here. There we go. That's your little cartoony horse. Now I want everybody, no matter what you're doing, think about your colors. So what color is the inside of the eye? What color is the fur shape or the feather, or the fur color or the feather color? What color is your background going to be? We're going to scribble all of that in, every single bit of it. But we're also going to start by outlining all of our features first. So I'll probably just outline the face, we'll outline the eyes, do that in whatever colors you have. And I'll show you guys in a second here. I just want to leave some space for our little horsey for a second. Okay, for anyone who's drawing the horsey.
I abandoned the owl. He was jealous.
He was jealous.
My other one was jealous. What do you want, another owl?
What are you doing now?
I decided I don't have to make a commitment. It's the cat, but I don't think it's going to be a cat.
It's okay. Maybe
it's going to be something.
Maybe it'll turn into a wolf or even a horse.
Or it might be a pig.
Oh, I love that. A pig would be great, though. It really would.
I just have to follow the instructions and see what comes out.
Well, this involves drawing too, so it's totally fine. Okay, guys. So now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to be erasing my lines. I'm just going to keep them. Let's see. I guess I can do one at a time. I mean, they're honestly, I approach them both very much the same way. So if you look at this kitty cat here, I outlined everything in blue, but I made sure to do it quickly I even thickened up some lines. I decided I really wanted the face to be completely in blue. But you don't have to keep it that way. If you want different colors for the eyes, then we can do that too. Same thing for the owl here. You can see that I started out by outlining the owl in brown. It was only later that I added orange to the side here, but it was all brown at first. I outlined the eyes in orange, and then the beak in marker, but also brown. It was brown. So pick color. You can use crayons, color pencils, markers.
Are you erasing the furry neck from the gray from the cat? No.
Yes. I'm so glad you asked that. That's a very good question. So yes, I did erase from the neck.
Oh, even though you added fur on the other one.
Mm-hmm. Like this one right here. Now this one you can really
the cat. You know, you had the cat that you drew, the little cat. Where's the little cat?
Oh, this guy?
That, yeah.
Oh,
so all that, you're not erasing that stuff. Or you
no, not this one. Mostly I added that in because it gives me perspective. Perspective on what it's supposed to look like. It's very much a furry creature, so I kept the fur in there. So that's a personal choice. And just in case you missed it, I forgot to flatten his head right here. So I erased that line and I just flattened it out here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with the owl. I guess the owl, I will erase the bottom here. This is where the head connects with the body. Owls have necks, don't they? They do, don't they?
Yeah, because the next turn.
Oh, that's right. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. What am I saying? Okay. So I have my crayons here. I'm going to pull out my crayons, but again, you can use whatever you want. I have a brown. I just pulled out the first brown that I saw. And I'm just going to very quickly follow my lines. And the reason I say quickly is because I feel like our marks look more natural that way. That's just kind of what I think, but I do want you guys to be comfortable with what you do. It also adds a more whimsical nature if you were to perhaps go quickly, maybe go over some areas, maybe go over some areas again. And you know, something I just remembered is that for the owl's eyes in particular, I might do this for both of them, but I actually outlined the eyes and the beak completely in marker before I put the color on it. So it was marker first, and then I put crayon on top of it, and it gives it a more interesting look. I mean, you don't have to do that. You can do everything in the same medium if you want. I just like to throw out different ideas. And what do you know? My hand couldn't really completely follow the lines. So I'm just gonna stretch them all, go over these lines again and again. And it's supposed to be more whimsical, not precise at all. So it totally is okay that I do that. Now I've decided I instead want my beak to be more brownish. So I'm gonna outline that in brown. Any questions? Any confusion? I can go over anything again, so no worries about that.
That's a great question.
And yeah, any confusion.
Well, what are you confused about?
Yeah. Because I know I just threw out a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So don't you worry. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to switch over to Mr. Kitty Cat here. I think I'll do different colors this time. My kitty cat, her eyes are both yellow and green. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do crayon, actually. I want crayon. So has anyone done anything creative this week? I've been waiting to ask that question. I know you, Tony. I know you've done something creative. You're more than welcome to show us or not.
Okay. I really like the whole between the sunset and the moon.
Oh, I like that.
I really like doing that. I see.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Easy. Thank
There we
Wow.
go. I know, that's really nice. And I love the brush strokes.
Then this is another one.
This one. There we go. The tree. Look at that tree. I love the gradation you were able to make in the sky
Wow.
too. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always good to know you're in really good artistic company. Even if you don't know what you're doing, someone else does. She doesn't mind being in my group.
Honestly, like
I
we're
learned
all
from
levels
being
here.
I learned from being here, actually.
That's aw,
Yeah,
I love that.
I swear I did.
I love that.
And just being able to take a step back and like look at the bigger picture instead of worrying about what you see in front of you, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's hard to let go.
Yeah.
It's very hard to let go. Well, you did an excellent job, Tony.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to share something?
I was creative with something, but it has to do with art, but I don't know how everybody else organizes, but I find sometimes it's difficult to organize things. And over the years, I've had a lot of um, art supplies that just seem to be all over my house. So I bought a little cart and organized things where I can just easily do my art. You know, like when
Yeah.
like even for this class, I'm like, I pull things from here and here and whatever. Well, now that I have this cart, it's, everything like certain pens and certain things are in very organized in an entirely different way than I've always organized things over the years,
Yeah.
which has got to be a mess. It has helped me actually with this class. So
Really?
It's
That's gotta feel
impressive.
really nice.
It's
Yeah.
impressive that you can even say the word organize and feel confident about that.
yes, and I'm talking about like I'm more of a crafty person, so I have different kinds of paints, fabric paints and oil paints and acrylic paints and and I've had some time to do that, and it has actually made me want to do more art again.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Honestly, like it makes me feel good knowing that, you've organized too, because I need to do that in my life. So there's a little inspiration right there. Very cool, Judy. And I feel like there are different levels of creativity. I don't, it doesn't have to always do with art in particular.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to everybody, anybody who's listening. Anyone who's listening. I do that a lot. When I was in school, in college, I want to say in my last year, one of the last semesters I was there, I actually ended up taking a really interesting class called Art and Neuroscience. And
Cool.
I wish I could say I learned a lot about neuroscience. I didn't. My brain was just all over the place. This was way before I was diagnosed with MS, but as it goes, sometimes you feel like you have MS way before diagnosis. So I don't even know where my brain was during that class, but it was, I have all of my, I guess the documents, like the papers that we had to read during the class. So this, for whatever reason, makes me want to go back and take a look at those articles. But the only reason I bring that up is because after reading so many documents and having discussions with, so the class was divided into two, the artists and the people who were just generally science majors. And part of the idea was for us to come together and talk about what we think creativity is. And so we found that creativity honestly overlaps in many different areas. It's all about the way you think about a subject. It's about basically thinking outside the box, if you want to, think of it that way. And that's probably the best I can explain it. Being on the artist side, not the neuroscience side. So anyway, that was a really fun class. It was a really interesting class. We were the very first people to be in that class. So we were kind of like the experiment. So that was fun.
Just the fact that you even have the concept, because I know this is helping my neuroplasticity. I'm
Yeah.
creating new neural pathways. So, at least you're going, okay.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, honestly, like that thought of creating new neural pathways, that really helped me to get through the worst of my MS things, everything that was going on and the grieving process. It was just the idea that
doesn't end.
Yeah, it's a balancing act sometimes. Now, I do want to keep talking about this, but I also want to talk about the art project. So these two are very different in the amount of colors that you see. So I just want to point out some things. We see a lot of scribbling, right? So with this one, I was imagining that, yes, this is an owl, but perhaps it's like a little ground owl. Maybe this little owl lives on the ground. And this is why you see more longer brush strokes, longer marks going upwards, almost like it's in grass. However, this little guy right here is more like a panther. So this kitty cat, it has a lot of jungle out here. So honestly, all of my mark making had more to do with the story that I created in my head, the backgrounds for these characters. So think about that. And you don't have to have anything specific in your mind. I just want you guys to have fun letting loose with these colors. Now, when it comes to the faces, it's honestly very subjective. You can see here in the in the ears of the cat and also in the feathers, the feather ears of the owl, that my marks go with the shape of this area. So it's pointed upward, the ears are pointed upward, so my brush strokes are pointed upward. This portion right here, it's more of a round portion, so my brush strokes are still scribbles, but they're very much rounded out as well. So I'm looking at the characteristics of everything that's in here. These eyes right here, they're rounded out here. This area here, it sort of juts outward, almost like a tabby cat actually. So really what I'm doing is taking a look at the shapes and the lines that I see, and I'm going with them, teeter-tottering based off of what I see that's already there. So you see the little kitty mouth right here. These lines conform to the shape of the mouth here. Now, the birdie or owl is a little bit different. I actually went in and I put my patterns in there first. So I knew that I wanted some crazy patterns, crazy colors around the eyes and in the face. So I don't think you'd ever see this in real life in the wild. These right here, these are more actual feather shapes, these scallops right here. But if you find any other pattern that you prefer, then please do that. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I feel like the kitty cat might be the toughest one, but you tell me if you disagree or not. At some point, I just let the colors do the talking. Honestly, I'm trying to look for my colors. Have to have colors to talk first. Here we go. Here's one. So with my little kitty cat here, I know that fur classically grows outward. And that's actually another reason why these marks go outward like this. They go upward. That's because the fur of the kitty cat goes outward and upward as well. Kind of like that. But of course, your brush strokes are going to be very different, or they can be very similar. And honestly, I'm constantly changing my idea of what I want my picture to look like. So I've decided I love this area here. So I want to keep it very simplistic. I think I'm going to add a different color to my kitty, even though this kitty was supposed to represent a black kitty. It might be more tabby this time. It's totally okay to change your mind. Here we go. I have an indigo. Perhaps the little lips can be like this. I know that they're rounded, so I'm just going to make little rounded marks out here, making sure to be very, very scribbly. Now, in order to balance out my kitty cat, I'm going to add some more blue somewhere else. And now it's more of an evil kitty. Just in time for Halloween. Except he doesn't have to be evil because I can add more blue to balance it out. If you guys want me to take a look at your picture, let me know. Now for me, I'm going over into the neck area because there just needs to be something here. I know my kitty cat needs some pupils, so I'm gonna do that. There. Now I'll probably add something more to the face. I need to pause for a second so I can work on the owl. Owly guy here. I've already added some brown. Let's see, what can I add that would make it a little bit different? Let me bring this guy out so you guys can see him. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm basically talking to myself. So feel free to interrupt me. Just thinking out loud so you guys will know what's going on in my head, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think this little owl is gonna have some pink. And these little pink areas are just going to be, I don't know, maybe representations of feathers. I might even put even more of these types of marks in here. Like, I don't know, maybe make something a little more elaborate. Let's see what I can do. I do want to put more brown in there. I know that's for sure, but I'll figure out how to do that afterward. The reason I'm going and putting the pattern first is because I just want plenty of space to work with it. Always remember to sit back a little bit and take a look at it from a little bit of a distance, just to get a whole, like a full picture of it. Now the beak, I definitely, it's hard to tell, but I've colored it in with a peach color on one side. And I knew that I wanted it to be darker on the other side. So I colored it in with an orange on this side. So you don't have to do it that way, but you can if you want to. I'm gonna look for that same peach color. Here it is, okay. So here's his peachy color. And honestly, you could color it in with your light color first, like the whole thing. And then I'll go on the side here. And I'm gonna start from the long side, color it in, long side, color it in. Now, what color should I do next? I found hot magenta. Do hot magenta. Is there any particular element on either of these animals that you'd like me to show you? Like show you how to do? I feel like we've covered most of it, but if I missed something, then let me know. Cool. I feel like I need a color, something that's going to go all the way around, kind of the same way that you see all this blue here. I kind of want to do that too. Like, what can I do for these scalloped shaped feathers as well? What can I do with that? You know, something that I've been planning on doing this week is whenever I get the chance, I want to create little bat wings for my cat. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. She I mean, she's perfect for it. Like she's got these kind of eyes, like the angry looking kind of eyes. So I feel like it just works out well for her. So I thought that maybe if I can get like a black harness, like a thin like kitty harness, and glue some, what is it, some felt to it in the shape of bat wings. And then maybe if I can paint some, I don't know, something on it, just to give it that bat wing shape on the inside. I think it'll work out. But if you guys have ideas, let me know. I mean, I could buy one for, I think they sell them for $10 on Amazon, but that's not as fun. I think I want my owl's eyes to be this color purple. So with this one, with these eyes right here and this owl, I actually have a few different colors. I have like a light orange, which is how it started off here. I have the darker orange. I have green actually in addition. And then on top of it, what is that color? It's a blue crayon actually, which looks like black actually in some spots, but it's actually a dark blue. That's the darker spots you see here. So I could be more elaborate with it. My mom has been watching House of the Dragons because she just finished the whole series of Game of Thrones recently. And so she was inspired to buy dragon wings for her dogs. I don't know how much that cost her, but I just
Runs
think
in the
it's
family, I guess.
it does. It does. My mom is not quite creative artistically this way, but she finds her own ways to do things. She loves Halloween. She loves being creative with the decorations. What else? Things like that. She loves to do that. I remember last year for summer, just she likes to do fun things, different fun things in our household. So she invited all of us sisters. There's 3 of us plus our spouses. And she invited all of us to go over to her house for a cake decorating contest. And this is the part that was unfair. I was disqualified from winning anything simply because of what I do. So I couldn't win anything. All right. So the idea was to bake the cake and decorate it. So of course I chose Vincent van Gogh themed. And I think we did really well. I think we should have won if I hadn't been disqualified. But that's the idea. Like that's the kind of thing that my mom loves to do. She really went all out. She bought all of our cake decorating materials for all of us to use. She had because she was limited, she couldn't exactly buy 3 sets of everything. She had a countdown in the beginning before we started. It was I'm trying to find out how I would describe it. Basically, she counted to 3 and all of us had to very quickly go and reach to the middle of the table to grab what we needed as quickly as we could. So that was fun too. I miss that. We haven't done that in a while. Oh yes, and I'm adding brown now, finally, to my my little owl here.
So I'm a little lost about the mouth on the cat.
Mhm.
Can I
Yeah.
have a peek?
Yeah.
Not a beak, but a peek.
There you go. Hope that helps. Now the mouth, if you remember seeing like kitty cats' mouths, they have it's round, they have their little cheekies. So that's the kind of shape I was going for. Now for me, I'm putting this brown in between my little, my pattern here. Mostly because I don't want to cover my pattern. I just know it needs brown. I'm sort of mostly mimicking the same direction of my marks here. Because I want it all to be pretty even for the most part. Evenly spaced out. Same types of brush strokes. Same thing in here. However, once I get to this area, I am going to change it up a little bit. Somehow. Haven't figured it out yet. That may just depend on whatever I can do out here. Now I'm thinking, this is just what's going through my head at the moment. I'm trying to think about the direction that the feathers up at the top in the middle here, what direction would those face? And I think it would be very similar to the cat over here. Just like a cat's fur, it would sort of start to face outward. At least that's just how it makes sense in my head. Then I'm just going to mimic the same kinds of brush strokes out here. And there we have it. Very scribbly, just the way we want it. Oh yes, and this little guy, I made some little eyebrow thingies up here, which of course are optional. You don't have to. Now I'm going to want to put the background in here. In my head, I think this little guy is more a tree dweller, you know, like most owls, like all owls. So what can I do about leaves in a tree? How can I represent that? I'm looking for my greens right now. I could approach this in a few different ways, but let's see. I'm just grabbing any greens that come across my way. I'm also going to add some yellows and a gold in there too. Maybe a purple. Yeah, I think I'll add purple in there. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to go around and do tiny leaves as if the leaves were all in the distance. So if you think about things that are in the distance, you can't really see them well. They're small, perhaps out of focus. So these marks are definitely going to be much smaller. And I'm imagining that they are very out of focus. And because they're leaves, they can honestly face any direction. If I was looking at a tree straight ahead, all of my leaves would be facing upward. So I guess not all of them, but most of them, like branches and leaves, they reach for the sky. They always do that. So you can think of it that way. I'm imagining my little owl is sort of looking down on me. Perhaps I'm looking up at it, looking down on me. I don't know. I promise I will go back to the kitty cat in a second. Is there anybody who is finished? Just realized what time it is.
Tony made 3 pictures already.
Is it true, Tony? Is it true? I'm waiting 3 pictures.
I did something a little different. I did my cat across the street that I feed on the weekends.
Yes, anytime you guys are ready to show, please do. I see Judy. I'm gonna put you up here, Judy. Does everyone see Judy?
Yes.
It's just me. Okay, good. There we go. Judy, that's lovely. Your owl has so much personality.
Well, it's very similar to yours. I used your colors somewhere along the line, but
does your owl have a name?
The crayon works nicer with these pictures.
Yeah, I find that I love the crayon too.
Yeah, you can just let it freely go. I did my cat too.
Oh, kitty cat. Oh, you did so well with it.
Weird eyes, but
I love the blue too.
I have a Japanese chin dog at home, and they're very similar to cats. So
cute. Sharon, I saw you. I'm gonna put you up here. There we go. I love that. Your colors and your
There's
marks.
my cat. Really good.
oh,
He's very fuzzy.
And yeah. And the horse had
There-
decided not to mess
Oh,
him up.
Your
yeah.
horse, you did so well with that. And honestly, like for a very, very quick introduction that I gave, you did so well with the drawing. Nice. Thank you, Sharon.
Yep. Having a hard time writing today, so
Yeah, it's one of those days.
yeah.
I got you. No worries. Who else? Anyone
Mine-
else?
Yep, I did mine. There's my cat.
There we go. I see you. Oh, your kitty cat. The eyes. I love the eyes.
Yes, my cat.
Oh, I know. And the
Yeah.
and the pink that you put in the
Nice.
background. Like I like that you.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
that's my owl. I tried the owl.
wow. Look at all that. Your colors are awesome. I'm loving those colors.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
Thank-
wolf started looking more like a pig, so I stopped drawing it. I have to go back and practice. So
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny because I attempted a pig and it ended up looking more like a bat.
oh, there you go.
That's really interesting, actually.
So,
I
work
think
in
that's
progress.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, I gave up on the owl and then I went for the cat that I thought was going to look like a pig, but now I think it looks like a bear.
You know, a bear is a great idea. I wish I would have done a
That'd
bear.
be cool. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not. It's just more, I'm looking at it. You know, I can't do what you do. I'm thinking in my head and it's going to go on the paper. It's for like, the paper like tells me, and of course I don't have paper. So I do have like color issues. Can I show you? It needs
Yeah.
something. It needs something. I can't
There
really
you go.
follow what you're doing. What you do.
Oh, I love it. Honestly, that's very much a bear in my opinion.
Well, I don't know. The red mouth.
It's an
I didn't-
adorable bear.
It's kind
It's
of
very-
an orange mouth, which I'm not sure I like that because I have capacity to change it with my things like.
Yeah.
And should I outline the eyes like I did, but then I didn't? Well, I'm glad it's not a cat because it really, I really would have failed if it was. I just went with the cat theme, but then it was like, okay. But now I have all that white space around the eyes. I don't know why, but
The eye. Oh, I see right there. It is tough to get close to the eyes. Like I understand that part.
but should I surround the eyes? Or
I wonder that.
I mean, they seem like a
maybe-
bit too much.
They seem like too much as they are, you mean?
Yeah.
I would try it out because you can press the undo button, right? Or like
Yeah.
a delete button.
Yeah.
Yeah, try it out on one eye. See how you think. Because I actually do think it would do pretty well with an outline. I'm just trying to think what color. Maybe
know.
not maybe
got
not
it.
red. Maybe
No,
that darker
A
brown
dark
that you.
green, like maybe a dark green.
Oh, yeah, maybe a dark green.
'Cause
Or
I have that-
even
yeah.
Mhm. Well, I was thinking the same color that you did on the fur on the outside. That color I think would help to bring it all together.
That color I actually used on the inside too, but I used a different marker for that.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Okay,
guess
see
that's
what
why it
you're
looks
saying.
different.
Yeah, I used a different marker, so it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can't really see, and I have all this green inside that I don't think shows
Oh.
up on the screen.
Yeah, I didn't see the green so much, but it's
Yeah, I have
that's
a lot of green.
definitely okay, definitely a color difference. If that's your gut instinct, then I say go with that because I'm all about that.
But aren't those eyes too intense? I mean, is there a way to?
It's
Make-
possible to I guess lessen the intensity with the outline. So if you were to do green, perhaps a darker version of that same green that you have. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I have
Excuse me.
these palettes. That's why I say I cheat. I have these palettes I can go to, and it's like, oh, that's where I got the idea. It's not like I'm going to look at it and go, I think it needs green.
That's a start though. That's really a great start. I have more on that, but before I go into that, who else would like to share? And if you're still working, that is okay. I realize it's 8:15, but I can stay a little longer. No worries. Marianne, I see you.
Fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's
Let me see. I see Marianne, and then there you go. There you're kidding. I love the eyes like combined with the purple.
oh, thanks.
Like that yellow is so
cool.
nice with it.
Yeah, I'm not certain it looks like a cat, but okay.
It looks like a cat. I think it looks
Okay.
like a cat.
Oh. Well, thank you.
I feel like your kitty cat needs a name. Like there's something there. I just can't put my finger on it.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Give it some thought.
I
Maybe
love
a bow
it.
tie.
I was thinking that too.
I think,
Yes.
yeah.
Put a
I think
bow
he needs a
tie.
bow tie. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Super cool. Who was next? Did I miss someone?
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Tony, let me put this.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. There we go.
Love it.
I love that too. What did you use?
He splashed his real picture. I don't know if he
Oh.
can't really see it.
Cute. I can see it now. Super cute. I think you captured his expression very well.
He's very effective.
Aww.
Personality.
Like little cat.
Cute. Thank you, Tony. Guys, all of your little animals are so cute. Anyone else?
What did Tony use for her medium?
Watercolor.
Watercolor? Okay. Very nice.
Nice.
Watercolor Sharpies as well.
Yeah, I tried.
Oh, very cool.
Like,
I like that.
around it.
I'm looking for your screen so I can put it up here. Give me
Okay.
just a second. There we go. There we go. I love those lines.
Yeah.
I use this what's it called? Like fine liner?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You did so well with that though. Like
I like the eyes.
using me too, using something that's so fine and giving it so much detail and texture.
It's so tactile. It makes me just like I can feel it.
Super cool, Daniela.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. Guys, these are all super cute. I cannot thank you guys enough for showing me your pictures.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Of course. This is really fun.